Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here on YouTube, returning to you for the next Silverstein Marathon Studio album review for Dead Reflection that I got a chance to listen to for myself to see what I was going to think of this record. Sorry, I'm petting my sister's cat Titan right here, so he's pretty sweet, as always. So, yeah, I'm going to discuss what I listened to for majority of these tracks, which is 12 songs and, I don't know, like 30-40 minutes of a runtime, and I'll let you know my thoughts on this record overall. So let's dive into this album review. I did actually purchase this album, but I'm just waiting for it to ship mostly. It's been a couple days actually since I purchased it. I think the 17th is when I officially purchased it, but still, I got like 10 albums in Silverstein's discography except for Discovering the Waterfront album because they want like so much fucking money for that record. I'm like, I'm not paying $20 fucking just for one freaking album. I'd rather go to a FYE or something and buy it there. But still, yeah. Last Looks is the opening track, and I don't know, Shane Told's vocal pitch was not as great as I thought. I think this is going to get a 4.25 out of 5. It's above decent, but I don't know, I just wasn't feeling for this track overall. As the opening track, it's has its cluttery moments. I mean, the tone of the track is kind of off in a bit, and it just wasn't a great opening track, but it was fine for what it was, so 4.25 out of 5. Retrograde is one of the singles for this record, and I think this was a pretty good song. The tone of it is little interesting, but I think overall, with how Silverstein went about this track, I think this was a pretty good song in its own way. I think there's some cluttery moments with the melody and how Shane Told is singing it from time to time. His screams are a little toned down a bit in this record, and there's a reason behind that. But still, 4.75 out of 5 for this track. Lost Positives actually was a pretty good song. I wasn't sure if I was feeling for it at first, but I'd give it a 4.75 out of 5 for this one. Because some of the way Shane Told was singing it from time to time, it was fine. This was very dark of a track. The message behind it, I guess, has to do with like some like mental health stuff and all that. I don't know for sure what the message of the song is about. Maybe grief or something, or experiencing a loss and trying to accept it and deal with it, unfortunately, and trying to overcome that grief and all that, or something. I don't know how. I don't know the best way to explain it, but basically, yeah, it was a nice track for what it sounded like. So 4.75 out of 5. Ghost was alright. I think Shane Told's vocal delivery had its hits and misses. I think he toned down with his vocal delivery from this record for a certain reason. But I get what I don't know, his vocals were a little off in this record, in my honest opinion. There's one song where his vocal delivery was pretty alright, and other ones that were pretty good. But still, 4.5 out of 5 for Ghost. Aquamarine, it's a nice track and pretty good vocal delivery from Shane Told for this one. I mean, it's not going to be the best vocals, but it's something. So 4.75 out of 5. Mirror Box was alright. Good song in its own way with the drum work, but Shane Told's vocal delivery, I don't know if it connects very well. So I'd give this basically a 4.5 out of 5. Then comes Demons, and that's an alright track. Give this a 4.5 out of 5. I think Shane Told's vocals kind of are off-putting from time to time, but drum-wise, it's pretty good. And instrumentally, it's pretty good, but I don't know, it's just good in its own way, but it does have its hiccups. Then comes The Afterglow, which is one of my favorite tracks. I really enjoyed this song for how it sounded. Probably the highlight for this record. So I'd give it a 5 out of 5. This one was pretty good for how it sounded. Very catchy melody. Then comes Cut and Run, and I really enjoyed this track, or kind of did. I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. I'm kind of messing up with how I'm wording things, to be honest. I'm sorry if I'm changing my tone on things. I just basically Cut and Run was a alright song for what it went for. The only issue I had with this track was how Shane Told's vocal delivery is alright. It's not perfect, but I don't know if his tone with his vocals were not as great for this record. But still, 4.5 out of 5. Secret's Safe is an alright track for what it went for. I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5 for this one. I didn't hate this track, I just wasn't sure if I was crazy for it. Give me a second, gotta pause the video. Sorry guys, I just had to cough something out because I'm still going through the viral infection. So sorry for pausing the video. But Secret Safe's getting a 4.5 out of 5. Whiplash is an alright song. I wasn't sure if I felt for it, but it's good in its own way, so 4.5 out of 5. And then we get to the closing track, Wake Up, which is a very dark and personal track with how the lyrics are written. It's a very dark track, but it's very impactful with the message behind it. I guess something about suicidal thoughts and depression and all that, and feeling like your life's flashing before your eyes kind of stuff. It's a pretty dark message behind it, but very meaningful track, and definitely if you or anyone is struggling with suicide or thoughts or depression, definitely call the suicide hotline. They can help. They help me go through what I go through, but I just pretty much recommend that because I know people out there don't think, well, I know people go through depression every day, and it's really tough. It's just a battle of whims, I guess you could say. But still, very dark track, and I'd give it a 5 out of 5 because I really enjoyed how it sounded, and as the closing track, it's pretty good. Overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I think I found myself thinking this was a good record, but I wasn't that impressed with this record, to be honest. I think this is, I don't know, maybe at least decent or average. It's kind of in that range, but to be honest, I was really trying to like this record, but a part of me was like, it's good for what it is, but I think the vocal delivery was a little off for this record. So if I were to give this album an overall score, I'm going to give Silverstein Dead Reflection an 8 out of 10. It's a good album, but it does have some weak vocal delivery. Just keep in mind when you listen to this record, you're going to hear weak vocal delivery from Shane Told with his screams and his clean vocals from time to time. But there are certain tracks that work, like The Afterglow and Wake Up, and certain other ones that were pretty good, like Retrograde. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was pretty good for what it was. But still, 8 out of 10 for Dead Reflection by Silverstein. A very dark and personal record that I found myself really digging, but I had my critiques on this record. So with that being said, thank you for watching this album review today.